welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside head coach Melissa McFerrin. And Coach, I know coming off a kind of a tough little stretch here, we've talked throughout the season about there'll be some highs for this ball club. There'll be some speed bumps for the ball club. And right now, trying to keep maybe some young players head above water. Have hit a little bit of a rough patch with 4 straight losses.
We have, and certainly the schedule didn't help us out with that. The high-level opponents that we're playing, and then we were hoping to be able to get a game at home. Of course, when you're bringing in Louisville, that's a difficult game to get. But, of course, we were hoping to get one of those games on the road that was at Temple or at Cincinnati. But as we know, life on the road's tough.
Yeah.
So we're looking we're looking ahead right now. It's important that we don't look behind. We've got to look ahead. We've got to certainly learn lessons. And there are still lessons to be learned. And that's the thing about our team right now is we've got to make sure that we are looking ahead to SMU at home. Certainly we still have USF and Houston on the road, but then Cincinnati at home. So those 4 games are critically important to us now.
You go back to Cincinnati last week, and that was a game they just never let you get really comfortable in that ball game. And we knew it was going to be a grind because they're one of the better defensive teams in the league.
And honestly, that was a game that we were hoping we could get. Yeah. And so we go into that game not feeling horrible. We felt horrible about the Temple game.
Yeah.
We just did not play well. But we didn't feel so bad about going into the Cincinnati game. We had a couple good practices. We felt pretty good. But I do think that on the offensive end of the floor, when life got so hard and so frustrating for us, I think we let it affect us on the other end. And really, with 12 minutes to go in the game, it was a 5-point game. And if we can grind it at that moment, then I feel like we have a chance to win that game on the road. And the fact of the matter is at that moment, they hit a couple shots, we missed a couple shots, and the game got away from us right there.
You turn around, you come home Sunday to play Louisville, ranked as high as 3rd in the country. Sold out El Marone Fieldhouse for the Play for K game. Biggest crowd at the Fieldhouse since they did renovations, put in the air conditioning unit, which shut off the stage, added chair back seating, reduced the capacity. And I know you're not a coach that comes out, does the warm-ups and all of that, but the players, you said, came back, and you could tell it was going to be big. When you guys left shoot-around, there was already a line out the door, and that was 2.5 hours before the game.
It was. What a great atmosphere for a women's basketball game, and we were so pleased. The first group that I noticed, quite honestly, Jeff, was the Native American group that I learned later came from Mississippi, from the Choctaw Nation. And, of course, Shoni Schimmel and her sister Jude, raised on a reservation in Washington. So that was a great contingent to see outside the door as we left shoot-around. So they were making sure they were going to get in the building. Yes, I don't come out normally until about the 5-minute mark, but the players came back from warm-up, and I knew something good was happening out there because their energy level was pretty high when they hit the door, and you could tell they were drawing a lot of energy from the people that were in the building. So just a real shout-out to our marketing crew because they did an outstanding job of filling the El Marone Fieldhouse. I think the number was 2690, 2590, I'm not certain. And I don't, Jeff, what year was that? What year did that reconfiguration? That had to be
around 99 or so.
99, okay. Yes. So that's too long not to fill the Fieldhouse, but a great day. And I was pleased with the effort from our team. Certainly, I think if we could have taken away the first 2 or 3 or 4 buckets of the second half, we felt like we could have been in that game. But again, Shoni Schimmel hits the big 3 at the start of the second half.
I was going to mention you go back to the first Louisville game, 7 minutes into the game, you tied it up 15-15. That's when Shoni got hot, and it was a runaway train. This time you're able to keep into the game. Now, she had a big shot on the baseline to end the half, and she carried that momentum. And as you mentioned, got some early threes in the second half, kind of opened it up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, even coaches learn. And so I'm going to say we had the same foul trouble in this game as we had the first game. But sometimes old coaches learn new tricks, and I said, okay, we are not going to a zone. And so we stayed in our man-to-man defense. We stayed close. The key thing, though, one of their post players got in foul trouble too. So I didn't feel the need to really go to a zone. Didn't really feel like we were going to get pummeled inside at that moment. And we got pummeled inside later in the game in the second half. But our team, it's a 9-point game. They take the last time out of the half. We have Jasbril Swain on Shoney. She did a great job of guarding her. Shoney just hit a shot. That's all there was to it. And then the first shot of the second half, Shoney just hit a shot. And we were there. We weren't far away. She just hit a shot. And then, of course, we changed how we were playing ball screen defense. And Shoney Schimmel's very, very smart player. She throws it to Asia Taylor. She hits 2 buckets, and actually she hit 3 buckets to start the half. So I was pleased with our team. I was pleased with our game plan. But when you've got great players, they hit great shots.
Coach, Mariah Rouser from Sign of Hope had pretty nice games for you.
They did. I was really pleased for Mariah. She played 33 minutes. That's probably the most minutes she's played all year. We're starting to see her come back. Her body's responding better now. Hitting shots, that's important. Sign of Hope, I was pleased with that. The bad thing about Sana is we were so happy to get her scoring on one end. On the other end, she got abused a little bit on the low block, so we've got to get her back to fronting and not letting her player get touches. But if we can keep that combination of players scoring, then we've got a really good chance to have a really good finish to our season.
Well, I need a good finish, and it's going to start off at FedEx Forum this Saturday, 2 o'clock against SMU, a team you took down to a double overtime when you were in Dallas early this year.
Boy, that's one game we look at, too, and say, we could have only won that game. 3 players fouled out in that game. We had 2 more with 4 fouls. We had great contributions from Devin Mack, from Courtney Powell. There was one other one there. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank right here. Jasbril Swain, I think, got a lot of minutes in that game. So that was a heartbreaker game. So we're going to expect to come back and play really well. We know that this is a team that we can beat. We're going to have to play well to do it. They've got a 2-game lead on us in the conference standings, so that's going to be a little motivation when we look at the board, as we do every day in our locker room. We're at the FedEx Forum. We're going to ask the fans to come out and support us down there. Many of the fans that showed up for the Pink game, we hope they come back. We've also got a Shelby County Day. We're coordinating with the. I was just in the marketing office before I came in. We coordinated with the Civil Rights Museum, of course, Black History Month. So we're coordinating with some African American community leaders. We're hoping to honor a very prominent African American community leader at the FedEx Forum. So it should be a great afternoon.
It'll be a 2 o'clock tip-off Saturday.
2 o'clock tip. And I'm going to stop right there with women's basketball, and I'm going to mention somebody that's very important to us, Eddie Cantler. We're on our way to honor him, as is the entire department. He was a great friend and a great leader in the athletic department for 40 years. And all of us are really going to miss Eddie Cantler.
And he was a guy, we were talking before this, that with the tournaments coming up, he helped coordinate the tournaments. And Eddie was a guy that he was an old school guy. He liked things in an age maybe where things are sometimes good enough, or just do it like this. He was an old school guy that things need to be done promptly, on time. They needed to be done the right way, and there was no way about that.
He was an old school guy, and I loved him. And we would fuss and fight in the office about certain things, and we would banter about other things, and I just had a great respect for Andy Kettler, and I know that there's going to be, I was at the wake last evening, and certainly the service today, there's going to be a very strong contingent, not just from the athletic department, but from people across this community that really genuinely loved Eddie Cantler. So our thoughts are with his family and his wife, Janina.
Definitely going to miss him. Coach, as always, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
That is head coach Melissa McFerrin. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.